Hi, my name is Natalie Dayton, and I'm doing my second career profile for my Family 150 class. The career I have chosen to research is a foster care specialist. There is an example organization for this type of work. It is called ACH. This is the one I researched, and it stands for All Church Home for Child and Family Services. There are many different organizations all throughout the country for this line of work, so that makes it easier for someone like myself who isn't in the West to be able to find something that's close to home. The working environment for this job is a variety between an office as well as home visits. The typical work hours are nice because it's Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and I like that that is steady and predictable. There's a degree of both flexibility and personal independence with this job because you are mixing between lots of paperwork, but also many meetings and home visits and things of that nature. And since you are the one in charge of your own schedule and scheduling those meetings with the different foster families that you are assigned to and such, you can decide if you want to take your morning and do paperwork and be able to have that flexibility and schedule afternoon appointments, or vice versa, or split it up throughout the day. So you're a little bit in control of your own schedule, which makes it nice. Confidentiality is a very big role in this job. So that working environment needs to be very tight sealed and to make sure that you are being respectful of all those you are working with. But I would say it's a relatively family-friendly work environment because although you're not able to take your child to work with you if they're ill, for instance, because of that confidentiality, you are able to know that you'll be home for dinner and that you'll have your weekends to yourself, and that is a nice thing to plan for. There are many typical stressors with this type of job, as in any other job, and some of those are just the many meetings that are required. There's staffing meetings, there's meetings with biological parents, meetings with foster parents, and meetings with your supervisor. So there's a lot of different meetings that occupy your time, and those can always be stressful, balancing those. Another stressor would be monitoring the families and making sure that the environment for these children stays safe, and that the foster parents are able to provide adequate care for these children. There also could be encounters of physical aggression because the foster children come from a variety of backgrounds, and so you never know exactly what you'll be getting into, and you as the professional will be in charge of monitoring those situations and as well as other behavioral concerns that may arise. Coordinating visits with biological parents could also be stressful because in some cases these parents do not want their children in foster care and they want them home with them as soon as possible. So there could be a lot of different stress with trying to manage the foster relationships and the biological parent relationships. The typical benefits for this type of position are great because it seems like a full package. You've got your medical benefits, your dental, your vision, retirement packages, as well as other plans for time off where you're paid. So I like that. And what's nice is that this is for full-time employees as well as their families. So that is family friendly in that way as well. Some of the common job tasks associated with a foster care specialist include supervision meetings that are held weekly, as well as the transfer and discharge meetings that you'll have with each of your foster families. It's important that documentation is kept for all meetings so that you can track the progress of each family and each case that you're assigned to, so that you'll know when to discharge and when those different milestones are being met for your case. Maintaining regular communication with the foster parents is vital in this line of work, and so that is another common job task that will be continuous. Conducting regular home studies is another thing that is required, as well as attending staff meetings and communicating with your case manager and supervisor. They also require, in most organizations, ongoing training and continued education to make sure that you're staying up in your field and aware of new information and staying educated. Designing behavioral interventions, that is another common job task. So the ongoing training helps with all of that. The educational requirements for this line of work, typically a master's degree is required in social work or in another related field. However, I found that some organizations will accept a bachelor's degree, and it depends on the organization. Some say they'll accept a bachelor's degree as long as you have a year or two of work behind you, and some say that they will accept you as is with the bachelor's. So I think as a starting point, you can do that and move up in your career if you have more responsibility and more education. Starting salary range I found was anywhere from around $30,000 to about $42,000 annually. But it seems that about a 15% growth in about 5 to 8 years or so is expected. So if you are starting out at the $42,000 range, you could expect to make about $48,000 after working for a while. So again, that depends on the organization that you work for. A couple of other things that are important to pay attention to for this kind of career is that a personal vehicle is required because there's a lot of travel. Going from home to home and work and different meetings, you will need your own car to do that. The other thing that was mentioned as critical for this position would be good communication skills. You'll need good communication skills to work not only with your staff and to make sure that there's good work environment relationships there, but you need good communication skills for youth, for children, for parents, and for all those involved in these sensitive situations. It will be very important for you to be able to present yourself in a way that is caring and concerned, as well as professional and level-headed. So this was a very exciting career for me to explore. I found that as I learned more about it, it became more of an option in my head, which I liked because this wasn't something I had put a lot of thought into before researching it. So I hope you enjoyed learning as much as I did. Thank you.